Welcome to part 4. We're now going into the dressing room and into the oldest part of the house, which is the original tower dating back to the 12th century. So follow me. So we're now in the dressing room, which is part of the original tower, but this room and the room next door, the King's room, were originally just one large bedchamber. Then in the early 18th century, the room was divided up by a partition, the wooden panelling was put in and it became a small drawing room, and the dining room was in fact next door where the drawing room is now. And over there in the corner you can see a small safe for hiding jewellery and valuables, which was really as a result of the family being Catholic in the 17th century, so they were always frightened of a raid or a search. But the room as it's decorated now really is from a much more Edwardian period, and it's laid out to show you some of the difficulties of living in a house like this in the 1800s and the 1900s. One of the most fascinating aspects about Traquair is it was very lately modernised. So it was not until well into the 1900s that a bathroom was installed in the house. The bath that you can see here, which is a hip bath that was brought here in the 1920s, my great-great-aunt could remember it arriving, and apparently it was considered an incredibly modern style of hip bath because you could recline right back in it as opposed to sitting up. And you see the cans here were basically brought up using one tap on the ground floor and then heated in front of the fire. There was also no electricity here until the early 1960s, so my grandmother lived here during the war, and a very bleak and hostile house it was, and my mother describes this very well when she came up in the early 1960s. So some of the other interesting things in the room here are the Earl's stockings, which are embroidered with 1844 on them, and they've come complete with a set of his razors, and we amazingly still have the receipt for everything there. Then this is a 19th century early bidet. And over here is a bed warming pan. It was an early form of hot water bottle, and this was in use right up to when I was a child in the 1960s. The idea was you filled it with very hot water, put it in the bed, and then were very careful to remember to take it out of the bed before you got it. And over by the window, my daughter Charlotte modelling perhaps which may have been her great-great-great-grandmother's dress. So we're going through to the King's room now, which will be part 5, and then I'll be telling you a little bit more about Mary Queen of Scots' visit to Traquair.